So, today I'm going to be talking about The Outsider by Stephen King. Now, The Outsider is one of the more recent Stephen King books, and the story follows a young boy has been murdered quite violently. It's quite an horrendous story. He has been sexually assaulted. He has been partially eaten. The most horrendous way to find a body, and it is also of a child, and it is awful. But the police know immediately who the culprit is. There is overwhelming DNA evidence. There are witness reports saying that they have seen the culprit, and there is everything pointing to him. There are fingerprints, DNA, witnesses. They know from the off who the culprit is. And immediately I was kind of drawn into that, thinking, right, so if you know who it is, if you know who it is and you know how, like, if you're 100%, you have all the evidence you need, where's this story going? And then it becomes quite clear very early on, it says it in the blurb, so it's not a spoiler, that this suspect who they have arrested, who is quite an upstanding member of the town, he is quite well known and he's quite respected, has an airtight alibi. 100%. There is no way he could have committed the crime. He was miles and miles and miles away. He was at a conference where there is DNA evidence he was there, witness statements he was there, and video footage proving he was there. So how did his DNA, how did his fingerprints, how did people see him all at this crime scene when he was miles away? And the story is so interesting and kicks off to such a strong start because of that. Obviously, things happen in the book, and I don't want to spoil anything, so this is hopefully going to be quite a brief review because I don't really want to discuss that much about it. So, it's very interesting because right from the start, as I said, you know who it is. And it's such an upstanding member of the community that everybody is shaken by the fact it is him. So our main character, who is Ralph Anderson, who is the detective who is in charge of this case, he orders a sort of public humiliation, a very public arrest in front of the entire town, sort of, at a baseball game. And they basically march in, arrest him, declare why he is under arrest in front of everybody, and parade him out as a sort of public humiliation for the crime he has committed. And that was something, because obviously if you read the blurb and you know that he has this alibi coming up, it shakes you then because you don't know what to believe. And it did so well in building up the character of Terry Maitland, who is our suspect, because it makes you want to root for him so much, because he is such an upstanding member of the community. He just seems like such a nice guy that you just want him so much to be proven innocent, and you want him to go free because you understand that it couldn't possibly be him. And then something happens in the book that proves that whilst you kind of know where this is going and you think, right, I know where it's going, it proves that you do not know where it's going and you cannot make any assumptions about this book because something happens and it changes the course of the entire novel. So, to be honest, it's kind of a book of two halves. There is the first part of the book, which is quite a true crime detective story, following the police as they go through forensics and witness statements and reports. And I thought it was quite interesting and refreshing because they also did that in a way that it was kind of a mixed use of literary devices. There was witness statements, there was autopsy reports, and there was the story itself. And I thought it was quite interesting and quite fun. And then halfway through the book, it does a bit of a genre flip. And if you didn't check out my Instagram and I accidentally spoiled the book for you, I'm sorry. But if you have not checked that out, then I'm not going to tell you what kind of genre it flips into, but it is classic King. And it is so well done and well written. And initially I wasn't a big fan because I just felt a bit cheated that it wasn't the typical cop thriller narrative, but I kind of told myself, just roll with it, go with it, you might enjoy it, and I did, and I thought it was excellent. And I felt that despite the fact that there was quite a lot of heavy description on the characters and a lot of heavy description, especially later on, it was still very pacey, and I really enjoyed the book. Now really, there isn't that much more I want to say because I feel as though anything I want to discuss or anything that I can discuss that will give you more of an insight into how I felt is kind of venturing into spoiler territory, so I want to avoid that. But the last thing I want to say is that I really, really enjoyed the introduction of the character Holly. Now, I can't really tell you who Holly is because I don't know. Like, she came into this book and I thought she was great. And then I found out that she was actually part of the Bill Hodges trilogy, also written by Stephen King. And I thought it was quite interesting to see that he's brought characters from other series into this world. And it was quite interesting and fun, and a different way I expected it to go, because I didn't really know where it was going. But the introduction of a character like Holly was actually quite interesting and fun, and I really enjoyed it. And although I've not read the Bill Hodges trilogy, it's now made me want to go and read the Bill Hodges trilogy, so I know who these characters are more. And really, that is it. I'm sorry this is very brief. You might think it's quite a crap review. If you do, I'm very sorry. There are probably quite a few out there on this book if you want a more in-depth one, but I really want to avoid spoilers, and with a book like this, talking for quite a bit of time about this book will spoil it. So, sorry if it wasn't great. If it was good, please check out the book. It was very good. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5-star rating. I thought it was really well done, and it's the second Stephen King book I've ever read, so Stephen King is doing well. I read Carrie, which got a very good star rating, and then I read this, which got an even better star rating. So, I think I'm a fan of King. So that is all from me. I post every Monday, Wednesday and Saturday, and then intermittently throughout the week. So until next time, I will see you later.